All right, welcome back everybody. My name's Andrew and you're watching the Kelley's Country Life. It is windy and freezing out here, so we're gonna step inside, talk just for a second. All right, without dragging the intro out too terribly long here, I'm gonna go ahead and fill y'all in on something. So I was gonna work outside today and start on siding. Just had a cold front blow 3 hours ago and it's miserable out there. Don't feel like working in it. All right, so one thing that we've got to do before I can get siding done on this side of the house is let's go ahead and get this door completely shimmed in, sealed up, since we made ramps in the last episode, and we now know that we can drive the lift in and out of the house without having to remove this door. So let's get it in permanently. Also, we're about to start on cabinets this week, and I need to get a water cutoff valve installed down there for the backside of the refrigerator and kind of get that area buttoned up. That's something I kind of forgot about and then popped up the other day. I said, whoa, before I start putting everything in over there, appliances and cabinets, let me go ahead and get that buttoned up. All right, and as the title says, yes, I've been keeping a secret from y'all, but it's a good secret. And I'm gonna go ahead and let you know. I'm not going to tell you about it till the end of the video because I'm waiting on a special delivery today. That'll be the perfect time to bring it up. So I'm not hiding it from you, trying to entice you to watch the whole video. Feel free to skip ahead if you want, but I hate for you to miss the work that we're about to do. So watch the episode if you will. All right, so like I said, several things going on. The big surprise, it's a good one. It's really a good one. I want y'all to hear that. And then let's knock out a couple things inside the house today. It's amazing the difference that it feels inside versus outside. The spray foam works. I mean, the house just stays such a good, steady, constant temperature. It's got to be 30 degrees warmer in here than it is outside, it feels like, without a doubt. All right, so now I got my shims cut off nice and flush, and this gap does not matter because we're gonna come back with a probably 2 to 3 inch wide trim that'll barely overlap on the door, nail to the wall, and then we'll caulk everything in and make it look nice. Now, because I did this out of order and did the walls before I had this door permanently mounted, you can see they brought the sheetrock over to the door. I don't have a gap to drive my wedges in. So I'll use the oscillating tool to cut me out a chunk there. Again, it's gonna get covered up with trim. I have found if you'll save your old, like, it don't matter, this is an old wood cutting blade, but the teeth are damaged from a lot of use, it still cuts through sheetrock beautiful. I definitely don't recommend using a new blade on sheetrock because, well, it just dulls the heck out of them. Now on the hinge side, I'll do the same thing. Take a little notch of sheetrock out, drive me a wedge in, and then we'll shoot some 3-inch screws through from the outside, and basically remove the hinge screws that are short, tiny ones, and drive some 3 inches all the way in to really secure the door. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is take this flap that I had already previously cut and build a little bit of a Tyvek vapor barrier lip over the top of this frame. I'll take some of this Tyvek tape, or you can use zip tape, doesn't matter, and actually tape this down to the top of the frame. Now I'm under, it's an 11-foot deep porch. The chances of rain ever hitting the siding, driving behind the siding, getting on the vapor barrier and rolling down is slim to none, but this is the right thing to do. It doesn't take long. So that's what this flap is ultimately for. Rain hits this, comes down, and comes out over the door to the ground like it should, instead of working its way behind the door inside the house. All right, so a very important part of the process here is sealing the door up. I've spent so much extra time, did so much work, paid a lot of money to really foam and seal this house up good. Well, a drafty door is not one place that you want to have. So I'm gonna take some of this expanding foam and actually spray foam fill all these gaps all the way around the door and have it sealed completely for the draft and air that could come in. This helps with bugs too. Now, I know some of y'all are probably going to ask, why am I using the canned stuff? I've got a nice foam gun. Well, I had a couple of these cans left over. Might as well use them up. And then I'll exclusively use my spray foam gun. All right, so something else that we need to get done before we can have this side set up and ready to go for siding is a little piece of header trim. So Tiffany wants something above the door, but we like to keep it small. We don't want anything kind of big or gaudy sticking out. We don't like the huge pieces of trims and headers and all that stuff with the designs in it. But a door frame like that looks, well, very bland. You can see on this little bit of trim I did around the windows here, all I did was carry it out an inch past either side, and it actually makes a difference. Your eyes catch that, and it's just not standard 45 corners right there. Oh, I don't even know if you can hear me with all this wind, but Tiffany and I went to Lowe's. She found a piece of trim that she likes, so we're actually going to use this for a border up top. This is all PVC trim. It's rated for, you know, exterior use, can get wet, and I bought some more PVC backer here. So this actually is going to wind up being the perfect width and spacing for the brick molding door frame. And then we'll kind of put this over to attach it, 45 some ends, and box it off, and just give her a nice little, you know, decorative header up top of both of the doors. All right, so now you get the general idea. I'm actually not going to put these end caps on, I think, until I run my siding, because if I put these on now, I'll actually have to cut my siding out to fit these crazy angles. Whereas if I run the siding to here, I just make one straight flat cut to where this drops in like it should with the siding that's in the way. Hard to explain, but it'll be much, much easier to trim these and install them a little bit later. But I think this will give Tiffany the idea of the look here. All right, so that definitely looks a lot better. Nothing really fancy about that, but it just gives it a nice extra little bit of a, you know, beefy look to it, instead of just thin, bland brick molding. Now I've still got to trim this piece just a little. It's a little long, but Give you an idea how to look there. Actually, I got to trim about 3/16 of an inch off. All right, so before I can go cutting into those water lines, I have to drain the system of water. I've had it pressurized up for a long while now, and I've been watching the pressure on all my pipes. I got them looped together, so every single thing is pressurized at once. And the reason I've been monitoring that is all the sheetrock and subcontractors and everything going in, all the plumbing being yanked and pushed around. I wanted to know if at any point in time a pipe was cracked or I had a leak. I can always keep an eye on this gauge and stop the work. Let's find the problem before you've made it all the way to the point of your walls are in painted. Then you've got to go tear a bunch of sheetrock and all out to fix a leak. So we've had no leaks. It's been holding pressure very well, but now I need to get the pressure off of the system. So if y'all watched one of the last episodes, y'all know I bought some fittings off of Amazon that allow me to hook up and pressurize hoses. These types of fittings right here for my washer and dryer. So long story short, what I'm gonna do is hook up a hose that goes outdoors. This will blow the water out, and on the other side, we'll pressurize that little bladder tank that I have, and basically introduce air to the system, pushing the majority of the water out. It's not gonna get it all, but I wanna get it out low enough below grade level, so when I start cutting pipes in the house and doing plumbing, I don't have a mess leaking out everywhere. All right, so here we go. Tank is charged up. Hook the air hose up. And go ahead and put some air to the system. Hey! Blew water all in the house. I might have had a little too much air. All right, and just like that, we should have enough water out of the system that everything is back below grade level and not up here in the house level. All right, so here is the water outlet for the ice maker. And my original plan was just to put a 90 here and some sort of little cutoff valve and call it good. But somebody got to mention one of these in-wall ice maker cutoff valves. It's already got a 1/4 inch line hookup, which is what your typical ice maker takes. And it has a valve where you can cut it off and on, because let's face it, over time, ice makers, hoses, things do leak, and it's nice to cut this off. Not necessarily have to kill water to your entire house, drain the system, and just service the ice maker. Now, I will say this is designed to be installed before you put your sheetrock up, just like a washer and dryer hose hookup box. So I'm going to modify this a little and install it into the wall. So just keep that in mind. I'm not installing it the proper way. First of all, I got to make sure I've got the room here. So I'm going to use this new stud finder that I just got and make sure I don't have a stud here, because I do have to cut that large of an opening into the wall. And another one there, perfect. That's dead center between two studs. This thing actually works really well to be an old cheap stud finder. Sometimes a lot of them just do not work. And yes, it's kind of painful to cut through your brand new walls. Now, being able to do that with a tool is pretty awesome. To be able to get the blade in there and drop down and cut the pipe where I needed to. I love this multi-tool. I'm so happy I bought one. Wish me luck. All right, just like that, it is done. The other nice thing about this, having everything recessed now, obviously you can get the refrigerator further back, but if I decide to put a hammer rester on here, those stick out and fill up this cavity, but again, it doesn't push the refrigerator out. I can't remember if I'm required to put a hammer rester on a refrigerator or not. I'll have to ask my inspector that. All right, so y'all probably wondering about, well, I just broke the system. You have to do a leak check every time. That's correct. It's cold today, so what I'm gonna do is let this glue sit up overnight. I can take this cover right back off, pressurize the system, push that box back, and I can actually see the pipe and see if there's any leaks. There is no point in me doing that realistically though, until I install my shower valve, which I'm probably gonna go get this week. So that'll be 2 breaks in the system. The inspector is already aware of that, and he told me we'll just have to do an additional leak check anytime you break the system inside the house before you close something up. And then the final leak check will be underneath sinks, vanities, things like that. So what on earth is going on here? So yeah, sorry I could not explain last night. I had to wait till today. As you can see, the delivery driver had a heck of a delay. It took them 24 hours to get this down here because of all the bad weather. But this is what I've been keeping a secret from y'all. The reason we have not started cabinets inside is because we have new cabinets. All right, so I'm not going to get into the details too much on this video because, well, it would just be an hour-long video, and we're going to start another video today to get you the information out. But all my cabinets back here that I have complete and put together, they've been sitting in this room, and some people have asked, why haven't you installed your cabinets? So for the last week and a half or so, the reason I have not installed cabinets is because I knew we are most likely, don't know just yet, but most likely are not going to be using those cabinets. Actually, I think I'm about 100% sure that we're not. So bear with me. I'm not trying to clickbait you. We're going to have a whole episode dedicated to this, but I want to go ahead and get that information out. We have a whole nother cabinet episode coming now, putting things together. I'm excited about this. We had something pretty amazing happen to us that I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to try to get an episode out tomorrow. But now we have a whole new cabinet building series coming. We're going to have an installation video coming, and then we're also going to explain what the heck is going on and what is in all these boxes, because it is different, and I'm excited to share that with y'all. All right, so yes, I know, leaving you hanging there. I apologize, not my style, but I've got to get all this inside and start on your next video to explain the process here. But I at least wanted to let y'all know a day or two in advance that cabinet videos are coming. This is why I have not installed them, because it's been a common question in the comment section. So now you know. Cannot wait to share that video with y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. I should see y'all tomorrow with that cabinet episode. Let me get to work so I can get it out to you.